Hi everyone, it's Dave Bennett from website-installer.com. It is September 5th, 2019, and we are launching right now the Legacy UAP, which is the most sophisticated for all use individual project that we've ever launched or seen launched by anyone else for the purpose of being able to replace need for backlinking. You can create websites that backlink yourself, your friends, your colleagues, your clients, your church, your local dentist, chiropractor in exchange for services. You can create websites that drive traffic into Shopify, catalog carts, and literally create pages for each one of their catalog pages. And you can do it very, very easily. Just press of a button to create thousands of pages in seconds that benefit anybody you would like. So I'm going to walk you through this real quick, give you the overview, then we're going to have the trainer videos anyway so you can see how to use it. But I will say this, you're going to want to get this. It is extremely powerful and you're going to be able to use it just the moment you get it. So as fast as you can get through the training videos, you're going to see how to use it. It's extremely easy. I'll walk you through that now. Yeah, this is worth its weight in gold, and most of you guys have been there before because 7 years ago we launched a version of this in Moji, Mass Optimized Web Page Generation Days, and that was also called UAP. It was the Universal Affiliate Page Concept. The fact that why have human affiliates you have to pay if you can create perfectly optimized web pages that point in at your website? This way, instead of trying to optimize a website, which is often hard to get SEO ironed out on a website, you don't need to anymore. You just make a different website that's automatically going to be optimized and let that second website suggest the first website, recommend the first website, lead people to the first website. And it doesn't just have to lead them to the main page. It can lead them to any page you want. So somebody with a Shopify cart with 10,000 catalog items, you can literally create a page for each of those catalog items that use the keyword for that item and point directly at that page. And you can set that project up for them literally in minutes. And you can do it in a way that they cannot possibly do on their own Shopify account. Okay, so without further ado, let me step in. But first, one little piece of trivia. Somebody pointed this out. I thought it was pretty cool. If you were to go to Acronym Finder or, for instance, the free dictionary, we're starting to see this pop up, okay? We've been at Moji a long time. We invented the phrase Mass Optimized Web Page Generation. We coined it because it was also fun to say Moji. So that was where we came up with that, and that was back in 2008. And so by now, it's actually the most commonly used version of that acronym that's on the internet, more often used than US NASA's Mission Operations Working Group. I just thought that was pretty cool. It was neat to see. All right, so having said that, let me go ahead and step into it. So like I say, what is the Legacy UAP? It's a combination of two things really. So let me just point that out. That's a sitemap link. I'll come back around to it pretty soon. We're going to show how we go from no entries on a sitemap to thousands of entries on a sitemap. Literally thousands of perfectly optimized pages generated in a few seconds. And the benefit for anybody receiving that deluge of powerhouse page traffic is massive, okay? And so I'll walk through that even more in a bit, but let me just start at the beginning. When we first created the Moji version of the UAP, we literally wound up with 50 million web pages in use at one point in time. Now, of course, over the years, we moved on to other things, so it took a long time before it came back up where somebody said, hey, why don't we do a version of that but modernized for today's needs? That was interesting. So we started by taking a look, and we found people are still getting hit 7 years later from the old projects that we put out with Moji. This is a classic example of what that page looked like. Now, what is the purpose of the page? Well, in this case, it's doing a few things. It's using New York, right? New York. So it's using geo targets, okay? It's aiming at city by city exposure. And it's using keywords like eye cream, okay? New York, eye cream. choose this anti-aging eye cream. Okay, so you could say anti-aging eye cream is actually the keyword phrase here. So what is the point of all of this writing? This, if you can see, it's kind of boring, isn't it? It's totally easy to read. It's not hard to read. It's just kind of boring. Where's the activity really? Well, that's just it. Your eye's kind of drawn to this, right? And what's it say? It says, click the image for the best eye cream in New York, New York. Okay. Now, there is a menu here. This is not a landing page. There are other pages that are basically variations of this, okay? And they do have links that point elsewhere. They go to other pages. Some of the links leave the website, some stay here, okay? And it's got a link to a sitemap down here, okay? This kind of thing, very normal. Now, let me just show you another one. So again, different page on a different website. So somebody set up more than one website pointing in at their eye cream option, most likely. This page is San Diego, California eye creams for puffiness. Okay, some people are searching for eye creams, some are searching for eye creams for whatever reason, puffiness, soreness, who knows, anti-aging. So it's all these different keywords, and you want to have pages for every keyword times every geo-target you're going for if you're being specific to geo-targets. Why would they say in San Diego, California? Because it's something we taught back in the day. Instead of trying to compete with a really big keyword at a totally national level, like eye cream, why not compete on a city-by-city basis with the locals in every city by having a page for every city? The big players don't have that. So by creating it yourself, you're more optimized for each location. Google always looks for local results for products that people want to buy first. If you've never seen that, try this. Look for hotels. Do a search on Google for hotels. I guarantee you, you'll see a few of the main names pop up, but then you're going to see a bunch of local ones in your city. Obviously, that's going to be different than what I see if I do the exact same search in mine. Same thing for restaurants. Same thing even for mattress. If I want to buy a mattress and I'm in Seattle, Washington, I don't want to pay the shipping for the mattress to be sent to me from Florida, Miami, Florida, if I can get the same brand of mattress right here in Seattle. Google's keenly aware of that. So geo-targeting pages is important because Google's looking for this city indication on every page out there. It wants to see some local pages first so it can show them first if it can find them, okay? And so this, if you click through it, take a look at what it does. It goes here to the Amazon page. Notice how whatever somebody was selling on Amazon, they could only optimize it so far, but they couldn't create thousands of pages on Amazon pitching themselves or driving attention to themselves for every keyword they're after, right? That's why they used this project here to create all those pages for themselves here. And every single page points at them. I'll give you another example. Vacation rentals in Rome, Italy, okay? And some of the keywords are they're kind of a stretch because we're going after longer tails that encompass everything. That's fine. First of all, it helps Google see the total scope of what we do cover. And ultimately, it's stuff like vacation rentals in Rome, Italy, right? Would be the point, okay? But it also looks good where we hit some of those longer tails that people are actually typing. And when they stumble across the page, it does not look strange to them. It looks like a match made in heaven. It's what they were after, and they're more apt to read, more apt to click, and so forth. Okay? And so if we were to go there, where's it going? Right here, right? Crib rentals, Rome, right? Home away from home. So there you have it. So again, this is somebody who got this website up as much as he could or she could, and they probably couldn't do a lot more with it than they did. And they said, we need backlinks, we need power, we need to drive some attention to ourselves from elsewhere. Okay, and that's this. And this way they can rapidly create pages for every different keyword combination. And literally, if you look at the verbiage, everything changes. If you try to kind of memorize the shape of this paragraph, and I'm going from page to page, you can see it changing right away, right? Well, that's the point. They're different pages, okay? It's kind of tier 2 content. It will not be interesting to read. It will be very blah and not perfect grammar, but it's close enough to suit the purpose, and it does have internal and external links in the kind of way that Google really does like to see. Okay? And because of that, this works. So the guy's able to show up for different keyword combinations, and every one of these pages, if somebody happened to click a link in the menu, sooner or later they're going to get the idea to click this image, right? And sure enough, it's going to take them wherever the guy wanted them to go. Happens to be vacation rentals in Rome, see? Maybe he's got whole other websites pointing at vacation rentals in different parts of the world on the same website. He could have lots of pages, hundreds, for whatever combination of keywords times locations that would make sense for that run. Okay, so we took that UAP concept. Okay, that is the breakdown in generic tier 2 content. Okay, the whole mass load of it, and this is ridiculous variability. There are 448 variables involved in the production of a page. 448. Can you imagine the density of that? Because how many words do you even think are on this page? Maybe 700. So most of it is variable. And you can just put in your set of keywords, right? Like a keyword. This would be a keyword. And then the name of your brand, right? And that kind of thing. You just stick them in Excel, upload it, and hit go to create all the pages. So we took that concept, which back then was much harder. You had to get a lot more technically proficient to do things back then. You had to understand your cPanel and be able to upload zip files and extract them and do some other things. Now it's not nearly as tough as it was. And we took that concept and we applied it to the most popular clean template layout look with the most variable functionality and design. Okay, and that's this sort of template that you see here. And people said, Dave, I want to mastermind UAP with this template structure. Well, this set of rules that forms templates like these here is called Legacy. It's just what we happen to call the Legacy templates. We've made many, many templates. This one's called Legacy. So we took the Legacy templates and we combined them with the UAP content to form Legacy UAP. And then we went further. We said, how do we make this even better, even cleaner, even stronger? We're going to make it more like landing pages. So it's going to be more simple, less stuff visible on the page. So we're going to maximize what we see. Let's take our image and make it fill up the page. And let's have the one call to action be right there on the image. And if we want to use looping video, can we do it? The answer is let's make that happen. So the result is what I'm about to show you now. Now, another cool thing for those of you who've been around long enough to understand the UAP, back in the day, there were a number of steps you had to get good at to pull it off, and you had to choose between whether you were doing geo or non-geo, no geo, keywords and so on. Now you don't have to differentiate because it's really automatic inside the panel, which you choose to use. Okay, so we're going to log in and take a look at this thing. So the first thing, though, before I do, I want to point this out. When you go and you buy it here and you get it, the Legacy UAP, it will install itself to the domain of your choice. You will choose a domain name. Okay, you will buy your own domain name for like 10, 12 bucks, whatever it is. And you will set the name servers. The instructions are easy. They're right there along the way. Just do what it says. Very simple. And then go ahead and complete your purchase. Okay, it will install. And when it does install, then it will be live in 2 minutes. Okay, and you're going to receive an email telling you how to log in. And you'll be able to start using it as fast as you understand how to use it. Most of the inside of the admin panel is intuitive. I'll walk you through that in these training videos anyway, just kind of walking you through what you can do. So, because there's a tremendous amount of flexibility now, the page doesn't have to look one way anymore. You can do anything you want with it and it'll come out different. You can even make multiple templates and shift between them for different projects in a single run. Okay, it's really incredibly powerful and fast now. So let me kind of walk back into it. But before I go into the panel, let me say this. Once you install it, a couple of things you need to know. Okay, this needs to use the HTTPS padlock. Why? Because Google demands that these days for rank. If you are not doing HTTPS, if you're only doing HTTP, okay, then Google is tending to show not secure warnings, and it doesn't rank you as high as competitors who are using the padlock, right? All other factors being the same. So when you first install it, it's going to move so fast, like I said, 2 minutes, that even the SSL can't catch up. It's going to take like another 5 or maybe even 10 minutes for the SSL to catch up. And during that time, you'll find it's going to perform very strangely. You won't be able to log in. Even if you have the right information, hit submit, it's just going to refresh this page. It's going to do really weird things, and you're not sure why. The answer is just wait. Give it about 10 minutes, then sit down to it, and then log in, okay? Give that security certificate a chance to resolve across your website, okay? It needs to discover your website on our server and install, okay? Now, when you do go, when you do give it time, there's 2 more things you need to do, okay? So on the one hand, there's the admin panel. This is where you normally go to do all your work. But before you go there, you need to go into the C panel, okay? And when you go into the C panel, this is more of the foundational part of the website. Now, it might look pretty foreboding to some of you and pretty hefty and like there's a lot here. There's not a lot that you need to worry about at all. There really isn't. There are just 2 things you need to do in here. For those of you who are familiar with these panels, you can do more. One is Let's Encrypt, SSL. What is the purpose of this? Because aren't we getting SSL anyway if we wait 10 minutes? There's the difference. SSL works on your main level pages, the pages in your root. But when you want to use subdomains and you want to create literally hundreds or thousands of subdomains, okay, then you need the wildcard SSL provided by Let's Encrypt. So click the link, okay. In the old days, this literally used to be $75 a year about 2 years ago, and now it no longer is. So you see the one here showing an asterisk dot, whatever your website is. I just happen to have it up on my test server here. You'll install it to whatever your domain's going to be. I've had somebody go, Dave, what do I do for a domain name if it's going to be for generic purposes? Well, find a generic domain name. Find something like industry-leaders.net or bestprovidersintown.com. That way, as you do projects and they become subdomains, they still make sense. It's going to be like chicago-plumber.bestprovidersintown, right? MLM-programs, MLM affiliate groups, anything you can think of, Chicago-roofing, whatever, bestprovidersintown.com. So just think about the niches you want to aim for and what would be good catch-all domain names to cover the whole canvas, to canvas the whole stack. Best MLM program reviews, bestmlmrecommendations.com. I mean, you can literally do anything you want. That way, as you sign up to fat loss programs, as you sign up to Regal Assets, I've had a lot of people have done that. As you sign up to one thing or another, then you're going to be able to create projects that point people into those programs, namely your affiliate links, right? So this is your catch-all website for promoting everything you want to promote for yourself and your friends, family, colleagues, clients, church, anything you want. You can put it all on one website, and then you can easily create other websites with special niches. I'll show you that soon. So you need to issue this, and when you do, it's going to ask, do you want to bind it DNS or local? Say DNS. It's the other choice, the non-default choice. And then don't do the dry run. Do the issue without the dry run, okay? So just remember that. DNS bind, regular issue. Dry run means test it. You don't want to test it. You want to make it really happen. Okay? And you want to DNS bind. Aha, like this, DNS. Okay? You have to do that for wildcards. Okay? Or else they won't work. All right, simple. You just hit buttons, hit go, and wait for it to propagate. And again, like 5 to 10 minutes. Then all of your subdomains that you're ever going to create will suddenly work. Okay? That's pretty cool. Okay, now we're going to walk into this, and I'm going to show you the absolute value of the way we do it now, because we made it so simple and yet so valuable that it's hard to even understand at first that this can work and still be so clean. Okay, so first of all, let me show you one thing. This is where I have this installation, like for you, right? This has no coding errors. Okay, yours will have no coding errors. And the reason for that, Google ranks that higher than websites that have coding errors, all other factors being equal. In other words, remove everything else that Google's looking at for rank. And HTML validation is one of the most important things that will help you rise up and rank faster if you have. Okay? Document checking completed, no errors or warnings to show. All right? Another one like that is page speed. You want to be in the green for page speed. Now this is 92 out of 100. You might say, what does it take to get to 100? Well, in our case, we have this really big image, don't we? Okay, so even though the image is optimized, it's large. Now it's large, and so that kind of pulls down our page speed a little. But that's why this is in the range in the green. Google doesn't necessarily rank you higher because you're 98 than you're 92. It really doesn't. But being in the green means you're doing things right. And beyond that, it's just too hard to manipulate within the coding for the tiniest couple of points, so don't worry about it. Now, here's a point I want to make that's really, really important. One function you have inside your panels, matter of fact, I may as well log in now. I'm going to log in, okay? You can make adjustments to your website, and then you can export that project, okay? You can either stick it on somebody else's cPanel if you have their cPanel information by FTPing it, right? Or you can simply download it like a zip file with a name to your computer and give it to them. Tell them to put it on their site. They'll know what to do with it, or their webmaster will, or you do. And so you just put it on their website, okay? And so when I did that, here's the point I want to make. I made a variation really, really fast that's different, okay? It has a bunch of different things about it that make it what it is, including a looping video. And I'll come back and explain this soon, but here's something I want to say. So take a look. There's your cute looping video, right? By the way, HTTPS. I don't know why that didn't come up. Yes, this does work fine for looping video. Yes, you see geo targets if you want them. There's more to it than meets the eye. I'll explain it soon. One thing that's really cool, a lot of people don't know, you see this or click to text. If you're wondering why that's there, it's for this reason. When you go to mobile view, it changes to a button. Anybody on a mobile phone will see the button. When they click it, it opens a text window with that phone number that's attached to that button. Okay, so you can text the company a question. A lot of people do that because they want to talk to text a question. They don't want to actually send an email that takes too long to fill out the name, the email, the phone number, the subject, and hit go and hope it sends. Especially if they're driving, right? Click to text is just tap and then hit your talk to text button, ask your question, hit send, okay? And you might say, why don't they call? Well, a lot of people are just shy. If I want to call a dentist in a town to ask if they're open on Saturday, but I don't want them to talk me into it right away because I'm not convinced that they're the guys I want to go to anyway. I just want to know if they're open on Saturday. I would rather text them the question than call them, because then when I call them, they have to say, why, yes, what time would you like to come in? I have to try to explain, well, I'm not ready to make that decision yet. So texting is great. I can just ask, are you open on Saturday? And they can say, why, yes, we are. Is there a time you would like to come in? I don't have to answer. And now it's text etiquette, right? Text etiquette. That just means they're not going to keep prying on me, are they? And there you go. So that's just a beautiful thing about that button is we found that for a lot of industries, it really helps encourage sales. It opens dialogue with the DUI lawyer if somebody's really ashamed to call the DUI lawyer, but he has to, right? Things like this. So it's really good to have that. That helps sales. Companies are interested in that. Okay, now having said that, in case you didn't figure this out, see this button? It's saying choose whatever my keyword is and learn more, or whatever I want it to say. Now in this case, it's going to a page that pitches a product right on the fly. I wouldn't normally go straight here, right? I mean, I would go to some page that has a video that explains what it is and then invites them to continue. But I'm just making the point that you can do that. Okay. Now, I'll come back and explain more pretty soon, but take a look. All my links up here, or whatever I want them to say, they all work. They're for extra pages that all have a button that can be clicked for the best whatever it is that has to do with the keyword at the time or the phrase I put here. It's just dummy stuff, so you see the point. But there you go. Guess what? The text is kind of boring, so we make it smaller, right? Can you change the colors and the fonts and everything? Yeah. Should you make it too small to read? No, Google doesn't like that. But if I click this image, guess where it goes? Well, wherever I want it to go. And at this time, it just happens to go to the same place. I just set it up that way on purpose. Okay. Now take a look though. This is on that other website. Okay. This is an exported website. I sent this guy who bought it from me. Okay. It does not have an admin panel attached to it. It does not have thousands of pages attached to it. But this is a fully functional website, and that could literally be a domain name that is on my same cPanel as an add-on domain, okay? So I could put somebody else's project on a domain for them, but have it on my same cPanel, so I don't have to pay for more cPanels. Now, having said that, there's value in having different cPanels. Google tends to see a bunch of websites on a single cPanel as parts of one website. But that's just it. How much is the guy paying you to create the project for them, right? Now, I want to make the next point. The websites you export for other guys, if you do that, or even for yourself, obviously, say you have some of these are pointing to your first website, while your first website is pointing through to that Shopify website or that Amazon site. That means you can just create a bunch of backlinking websites easily for yourself, very, very cheaply, just the cost of every different domain. But you can create so much variety so fast and produce it that you're making your own backlinks insanely cheaply, just the cost of each domain, and you can use them for anything and everything you want to promote. Okay. And you can do that easily. Now, if you do get more legacy UAP panels and put them on different domains, you have even more power. You can use 2, 3, 4, 5 domains to backlink or to create pages that promote 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 50, 100, or even 10,000 different guys that you're sending leads to, or whatever it is you're doing. A nationwide run through an industry so you can watch your visitor tracking, and wherever some guys are starting to get hits, you're going to contact them and say, hey, I've been getting you hits. How about you pay me for those hits? Or you're using a forwarding phone number that records the calls, and you're having that point at somebody, and you're creating a mess load of pages so that when they start getting calls, you can contact them to show them the recordings to say, hey, I'm the one who's been getting you those calls that are closing. How about you pay me for those calls? You know, or else I got to redirect this phone number to some other competitor in the city. You know, in other words, you don't have to lose a thing if the guy says no. That big run you did can apply to anyone, anytime. And yes, you can do parallel runs for different industries using different templates on your websites that have the legacy UAP. All right, let me continue though. This is wiblitz6.com, like I said, that's the different website. If I go and take a look at the validation, that website I exported here, document checking completed, no errors or warnings to show. If my first website, I comb through the pages just to make sure that I didn't do something weird with them, and I make sure that they are all error-free, then when I make versions for other guys, they're going to be error-free too. And yes, page speed is maximized, and reality check is exported websites are faster than websites that have admin panels by some few points. But there you go, it's the trade-off, right? The exported websites are simple HTML websites, no panels, no databases, but they won't have thousands of pages. They'll just have the base pages that you wanted. Okay. Now, somebody will ask me, and I'm sure this is starting to run through your mind, a lot of you. Maybe on my main website, I can create 10,000 pages, right? Back here on WI Blitz 5, because it does have the panel, right? Yes. And then you're thinking, but if I go exporting, don't all those websites have the same front page? The answer is no. There's two things to that. One is global variables. I'll explain that soon. And the other is a secondary layer that makes that even better. What if you wanted to just hit randomize, so to speak, and the front page variables will all be different? Just immediately, all 448 of them, therefore the whole front page is different. Same with the inner pages, they're all immediately different. That way, then I'll just go into my global variables and fine tune. I'll make sure to change the company name to the guy's company name that I want. He'll give me his company name, phone number, email address, address line 1, city, state, zip, and I'll just go ahead and just make those changes real quick here in global variables, and that will cascade all those changes through the entire website for him. So now when I export, he will get a website with all of his information. That can include the call to text button is for him. And if there's a Google map, it's for him. All of that stuff. And at the same time, it's unique. So whether I'm doing it for someone else or just generating different websites for myself, okay, I can do that and make them all unique, even if they're all meant to benefit just me, okay? The level of power you have here is insane. I'll try to extrapolate real fast. What if you're an MLM program owner and you've got 10,000 downline and you've been giving them all a replicated page? Wouldn't it be better if they came running in and said, I'd like to buy a copy of my own website, and you just produced a copy for each different guy where you hit random for the variables for each different guy so that their website is going to stick. See, replicated pages will never rank because they're really just copies of the main page. Okay? But if you create different websites for different people, you can change some colors fast. You can change some fonts fast. We have drop-down options in here for that. It's so simple. And you can change some images fast. We put a lot of images into the Legacy UAP panel that are good for general use. I'll show that to you soon. And that way you can make, say you had 1,000 buyers. Then you can, you're happily having somebody make these or you're mass exporting them. We have tools for that. For you guys who want to play big, we can absolutely generate all those websites and make them all unique automatically, okay? So that's interesting. It's more expensive. It's a bigger system. But for guys who want to do something like create 200 totally unique templates within a month, we can create them from scratch, totally unique themes, okay, that you can work forward from that are each completely versatile. But that way you have this massive combination that you can use to make like even 7,000 websites within a month, okay? And we can do it for $80 a template, including totally unique content for every single one, okay? Guaranteed, everything's unique. It's really fascinating. And that can be put into any number of websites. All right, so let me just come back to the here and now for this, because this is the point where we're at right now. So yeah, you can export projects and you can make hard copy versions that stick on different domains you want, pointed out, whatever, so that they really cost nothing. They take up basically no room, but they provide backlinking benefits, okay, to you and anyone else. And you can literally create the uniqueness in seconds and then export different zip files in seconds, send them to each domain, or if you have the FTP information for each cPanel, that you can just upload yourself to each different one of those websites. And again, they can be add-on domains on a single cPanel, right? So then your only true cost is the cost of each next domain name once you have this. How's that for fascinating? Really, it's amazing. You're creating your own backlinking empire that you can use for anything. It's referral marketing to yourself. By the way, can you use this for creating websites that are real websites for yourself, of course. The UAP is just a set of files that you can choose to use or not. It's up to you. Okay, so let me see. We covered this. I'll come back to this in a minute. I pointed that out. All right, check this out. This front end, we intentionally maximize the image and put something simple in here with a simple link. Notice how the whole time that my arrow is on this image, it's not changing. It's assuming that I'm focused here. I'm not scrolling down, I'm focused here. So it's gonna sit here and wait to see if I do the ever-loving click of the button that we made say anything we want. Yes, we can choose everything. The opacity of the background, the color of the background, whether the lettering is bolded, the size of the lettering, the font of the lettering, the coloring of the lettering, whether it's italicized or not, which keywords it uses, which static text it uses, and same with this button. We can put variables in here. It can be keyword optimized, okay? And if I click off, there, see, it finally moves on, okay? And it can say something else on each different image. So I can organize my images and have my different points show up place by place automatically. And all my pages are going to use their own keyword, their own location if applicable. Now, what's the thing that makes this so powerful? Well, let's start with this. It has the page title I want. It also has the meta description I want. We don't have to worry about meta keywords, but sure, it has meta keywords. And if I choose to scroll down, everything else is down here. Everything, these are links. Google sees these. People won't bother to scroll down most of the time. They won't even see any of that. This, they'll see because they type something longer tail, and this fits what they type, and it says learn more, and this is the page they see. On a mobile, it's basically the same thing. Okay? If they do scroll down, okay, all the more power to them. They see more things they could click on. They also see this new option to click here. Click the image above for the best whatever it was that they typed, or the best whatever it was keyword combinations we put into the page. I'm using a mix. You've got Moji, you've got Moji Company, you've got the best Moji, just a mix on purpose for this demo. I can structure it however I want. I'll show you because it's really easy. You just do this in your keyword file. That's it, your Excel file. You just put keywords in one column, some other items in other columns, locations in a column if you want, and that's it. Then just hit go, and it asks how many pages you want. I'll actually show you in a minute. Now, here's the point I want to make. If you keep scrolling down, these links point to other internal pages on the website, but some point off the website. This one happens to go to ask.com. If I click it, it opens, and guess what? It brings up a page about a related topic that has stuff on it, and Google sees that. Now, this page happens to say Moji Toolbars Endeavor, okay? Could say anything, could just be Moji Toolbars. I made it say whatever I want. Again, your keywords are not gonna be Moji Toolbars, they're gonna be something else. But I just did this for the point of making the sample and to show you that there's so much variety and power, you can get really, really specific. And when Google sees relationships like that, Google loves it. This is what Google wants out of backlinking websites, that you're sharing the wealth, that you have links that go here, links that go there, different websites for different purposes. That's what Google wanted to see. That's what we're giving Google. I'll point something else out. Notice that in the sidebar, we have a menu down here. We did not have a clickable menu up here, and this leaves the site, by the way, with a no follow tag, right? Really, really important. Google counts the websites that have no follow tags because that helps lend to natural linking, okay? And no follow on the above the fold is really, really important anyway, because that way Google does not see what you're doing as a trick. There's no trick. That's a no follow, so no trick. And down here, you can scroll down if you wish. A simple flick of the mouse and down you go. So Google does not see a problem with that either. All this stuff down here is totally accessible right away, no problem. These are different pages. If you click on any one of them, notice something. See how this says satisfaction guarantee and it's got a Visa symbol and they just happen to say something when you hover over them? They'll say anything we want with whatever keywords we want. But take a look. If I click one of these, it'll go to that page. It'll be really simple, and it'll encourage me to click here, telling me satisfaction guarantee. That's not clickable. The idea is to get me to click this thing. Guess where it'll take me, right? But yeah, there's still other links on the page, so this looks good to Google. What if I did go to a different page? Oh, I see a different sidebar item over here, the Visa one, right? But other than that, this is different verbiage, and it's telling me to click here, right? Come on, Dave, click there. That's the idea. What else do we have? I'm not sure which pages we had. So there's that one. Let me just show you some more. That one has no sidebar. We're just doing it for sheer diversity. We can mix and match all the items that we want in our sidebar, okay? Just showing you because it's neat to know that you can easily do this, all right? Now, I'm getting 40 minutes into this, and this is a lot of material. So what I'm going to do in the next video that I'll attach to this is a total walk through the admin panel. By then, you're going to understand how easy everything is. And by then, you should want to jump in and get it. Now, I will tell you what. This was at a certain price last week when we were still developing it. It was in pre-release and everyone got a deal when they bought. Now that we're this far, it's more expensive. And if you keep waiting, it will become even more expensive, especially as people start shouting out that it's doing great things for them, because this is really worth a lot. Now, some of you guys, you're thinking, I want to know now what I can do at a higher end level. Because there is one option. If you want to get an unlimited installer version of this, you can install it to multiple websites, 2,500. You buy this, we put it somewhere where from there you can hit some buttons to install it over and over again to whatever websites you want. Right now this thing is priced at $295, so 2,500 is not even 10 of those. Okay, it's like 8 of those. Whatever the point, I want to make this point for those of you guys who would think that it would behoove you to have about 8 of these, because that way you can control them more easily and you can do mini projects, especially if you have your own clients. I just want to warn you now, you should get that one, okay? If you can, because if you can, it's just you are able to use it for an unlimited number of installations, just as many domain names as you want to buy, as many different cPanels as you want to get from us. Then you can install to all of them. Now, I've had people say, can we install to a different server? The answer is you would have to get a server, like $2,000 a year. It would have to be a full-scale dedicated server, and we would have to go in and tweak it for you. So there would be a setup fee for tweaking your server to handle the software to be able to do this, all right? And that would be an available option for those of you that get the unlimited installer version of this, okay? There's several levels going up the ladder, and those are the first few. Okay. The only reason I'm breaking it down right now is because for those of you who are buying right now and you're thinking ahead, I just want to make sure you understand where you can go if you're able to go now. So give me a call. Here's my number. Okay. If you actually want to talk at that level. Okay. Now back to the here and now. Again, if you get one of these, you can get the domain name and have this installed in minutes and literally start using it right now to benefit anyone and everyone you want. So this is 43.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and break off, let you guys get a cup of coffee, whatever. And then I'm going to walk you through and show you how this thing actually works. And yeah, you'll be floored. It won't take long to learn at all. The rules are simple, understandable. The functions and controls are simple and understandable. And at that point, you'll be ready to rock and roll. Okay, I hope you're finding this interesting. I can't wait to get you guys on board, get you guys rolling, get you guys doing projects. And the level of control that you'll have with this is huge. You can use it for anything and everything you want. You'll see that pretty quickly. Okay.